6 things. Most parents do all of them, and every single one is done out of love. That's what makes this so hard to hear and so important to know. We're starting with the one piece of advice almost every new parent receives, the one that sounds completely logical, and the one that researchers now say we need to rethink. Number 1. Letting them cry it out because someone told you it builds independence. You've heard this one. Don't rush in. You'll spoil them. Let them learn to self-soothe. Sounds reasonable. Sounds like you're raising a resilient child. Here's the problem. Young babies, especially in the first several months of life, don't cry to manipulate you. Crying is their only language. The only way they can say, "I'm hungry. I'm in pain. I'm scared. I need you." When cries go unanswered again and again, the baby's body registers that as danger. Cortisol rises. Stress sets in. And in a brain developing faster right now than at any other point in a human life, that stress response matters. Here's the reframe. Responding quickly to your baby does not spoil them. It teaches them something far more important than independence. It teaches them, the world is safe. Someone comes when I call. That trust deep in their bones is the actual foundation of secure attachment. It's what allows them, later, to explore, to separate, to genuinely become independent. So, the next time someone tells you to leave them crying, you can say, "We're building trust right now." Because you are. And the deeper reason this matters will make a lot more sense when we get to number 4. But first, let's talk about something that's quietly crept into almost every home with a baby in it. Number 2. Using screens as a babysitter because you need 5 minutes to breathe. Let me be clear before we go any further. Every parent has handed a baby a phone. Every parent has turned on a TV to survive a hard moment. That is not a character flaw. That is reality. But here's what's worth knowing. A study published in JAMA Pediatrics, one of the most respected medical journals in the world, followed nearly 8,000 children and found that screen exposure at just 1 year of age was linked to communication, problem-solving delays at ages 2 and 4. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no screen time for babies under 18 months. The one exception? Video calls, because there's still a real human face on the other end, responding to them in real time. That's the key word. Responding. A screen talks. It does not listen. It cannot change based on what your baby does. And right now, your baby's brain is hungry for exactly that. A face that reacts to them. A voice that answers them. The fix isn't perfection. It's priority. When you can choose a real face over a screen. And the reason screens are so damaging is actually the same reason number 3 is so powerful. Something researchers only recently proved is happening inside your baby's brain. Number 3. Not talking to them because they don't understand me yet. Completely understandable. You're looking at a tiny person who cannot speak, cannot respond with words, cannot confirm that anything you're saying is landing. It feels pointless, a little silly even. Here's what the research says. Scientists at MIT and the University of Texas used brain scans to prove that the number of back-and-forth conversational turns between a caregiver and a baby directly shapes how the brain's language regions develop. Not just the number of words a baby hears. The back and forth. Here's what that looks like before they can talk. You say something. Your baby coos. You respond to that coo. They coo again. That's a conversational turn. And according to the research, that simple exchange is building neural pathways rewiring the brain in real time. The University of Texas study recorded hours of home audio from families with infants. The babies who heard more words aimed directly at them, not conversations overheard in the background, but words for them went on to show measurably stronger language development. The words don't need to be impressive, just intentional. Talk through the diaper change. Narrate the grocery run. Ask them how they feel about the weather. It feels ridiculous. Do it anyway. Their brain is listening, even when it looks like they're not. And now, number 4. This is the one most parents don't see coming, because it doesn't look like a mistake at all. Number 4. Being physically present but emotionally absent. You're in the room. You're there. But your face is flat. You're 3 hours ahead in your head. You're managing a hard week on no sleep and the phone is in your hand. Here's what your baby knows that you might not. They are wired from birth to read your face. In 1975, developmental psychologist Dr. Edward Tronick conducted what became one of the most replicated experiments in child psychology. He asked mothers to engage warmly with their babies, smiling, responding, making eye contact. Then, he asked them to go completely still, expressionless, unresponsive. Within seconds, the babies noticed. They tried to re-engage. They smiled harder. They pointed. They reached. When the still face continued, they escalated crying, looking away, physically collapsing in posture. After just 3 minutes, some babies withdrew entirely. Hopeless expression, body turned away. Dr. Tronick later said, "We just didn't have any idea how powerful the connection with other people was for infants, and how, when you disconnect, how powerfully negative the effect was." Now he was clear. A few distracted minutes is normal. Life demands that. The repair matters more than the rupture. But what the experiment proved is this. Your baby is not a passive observer in your life. They are reading you, constantly. Your face is their emotional weather report. 5 minutes of full attention, phone down, eyes on them, following their lead can reset everything. That is the relationship being built, right now, in real time. Before we get to the last two, I want to cover a physical one that gets almost no attention, and a structural one that might be the most fixable thing on this list. Number 5. Rough or rushed handling without even realizing it. We're not talking about anything extreme. We're talking about the everyday rush. Picking up too quickly. Forgetting to support the head. Moving through a diaper change like you're on a timer. Here's something worth knowing. Babies are born with something called the Moro reflex, their automatic startle response. Sudden movements, jerky lifts, an unsupported head, all of it triggers that reflex. And when it fires repeatedly and unnecessarily, it activates the same stress response we talked about in number 1. The nervous system reads it as, something is wrong. Over time, a baby who is regularly startled or rushed during handling can develop a low-level physical wariness, a body that braces instead of relaxes, a nervous system that stays slightly elevated. The practice is simple, even when you're exhausted. Slow down your hands. Support the head, every time. Narrate before you move, "I'm going to pick you up now," even before they understand the words. Let your touch be something they can predict. Which is exactly what brings us to number 6. And this one might be the most immediately actionable thing on this entire list. Number 6. No consistent routine, because flexible sounds like freedom. Here's the truth about babies. They are not wired for flexibility. Not yet. The world is enormous and overwhelming and entirely new every single day. What calms a baby's nervous system at a biological level isn't novelty. It's predictability. A study published in the journal Early Human Development followed 405 mothers and babies aged 7 to 36 months. Families who were given a simple, consistent bedtime routine saw significant drops in how long it took babies to fall asleep, fewer night wakings, and here's the part that often surprises people, measurably improved maternal mood. Because when baby sleeps better, the whole house breathes better. Routine isn't rigidity. You don't need a military schedule. You need a rhythm. Feed, play, sleep, bath, song, cuddle. The same sequence, the same cues, night after night. Here's why it works. Babies are pattern recognition machines. Parents who introduce a simple 3-step bedtime routine often report that within 2 weeks, their baby begins winding down before they even reach the crib. The brain learns the cue. It starts releasing sleep hormones on that signal. Give your baby a pattern worth trusting, and they will trust it. You've probably done most of these. Every parent has. That doesn't make you a bad parent. It makes you a human one, doing one of the hardest jobs there is, on not enough sleep, with more love than you know what to do with. Pick one thing from this list, just one, and try it this week. Small shifts, done consistently, that's how big futures get built. I'll see you in the next one.